Well, good evening, everybody. We're happy to be back here in Rother Bluestagen tonight. I think this is our 5th time here. And we're happy to be back, and I'm happy to be anywhere. Now, this song is off of our new album. The album is called Rother Blues. And I went back through the history of the blues, and I found some songs that have been forgotten. And I wanted to bring these songs back. This one was written by Mr. Jimmy Dawkins from Chicago. It's called Me, My Guitar, and the Blues, and I think it's one of the greatest blues songs I've ever heard. He summed up the essence of the blues in this one. Me, my guitar, and the blues. I don't worry about tomorrow. I know that every day stands on its own. I don't worry about tomorrow. I know that every day stands on its own. Tomorrow will still be here, and we could all be dead and gone. And I don't worry about you, baby. Lord, I don't worry about you no more. I don't worry about you, baby. Lord, I don't worry no more.
So Walter, welcome back in Rhodes. 7 years ago, we sat here, did an interview, and it was one of the last shows before you became sick and had very hard times.
I had some very difficult times. I'm amazed to be alive. I'm amazed that I feel good. I'm still playing. I'm still making records. I'm actually right now probably in the best years of my life.
You just flew in for 2 shows, tonight here, tomorrow in Leverkusen, and then going back to the US, coming back to Germany in May.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, this is, people ask me about jet lag, and I tell them it's permanent. It's not like something that comes and goes. With the schedule I have, my jet lag is just a fact of life. It's something I live with. We flew over yesterday, we'll play tonight. We're going to drive after the show to where the next concert is. And then we'll do the concert, and then we'll drive back to Munich where we'll fly home, and I'll be home for 4 days, and then I will start a US tour.
So that means you don't slow down?
No, I don't want to slow down. I don't know how much time I have left, so I'm going to go with everything I have.
And you have your family behind you and supporting you?
Yes, I do, and it's beautiful. My oldest son is here tonight. He's going to play with the band, and my wife travels with me now, and I'm going to do a show in the summer. I'm going to do a show in the town I grew up in a building that was built in 1928 by my grandfather, and it has his name on the front of the building. And I'm going to play there in August, and all my sons are going to come and play in the building that was built by their great-grandfather, and that has his name in gold letters. And so life is great right now.
mentioned your albums, and looking at The Blues Came Calling, Battle Scars, Alive in Amsterdam, we're all in this together, and now Survivor Blues, all programmatic album titles in a way.
I guess you could say that. I like to try to do something a little different with each record. How can I put this? I've been out, I had my transplant 4 years ago, and I think, what we do, Battle Scars, we're all in this together, Live in Amsterdam, The Blues Came Calling. This is the 5th album in 4 years. So I'm working hard, you know.
Survivor Blues is kind of paying tribute to your roots in a way?
Yes, it is. It's paying tribute to my roots, but it's also paying tribute to the whole history of the blues. I got the idea when I was driving in the car and I was listening to a blues radio station. And there was a new band, and they were doing a version of Got My Mojo Workin'. And I said to my wife, this is probably the 834th version of Got My Mojo Workin'. And the recorded blues started in the 20s, pretty much with Charlie Patton, right? So we're looking at 100 years of recorded blues history. And there are so many great songs and so many great artists. And so people just keep doing the same 20 songs over and over. And I was like, I want to explore the history. I want to find hidden treasures, forgotten treasures, and I want to resurrect them, bring them back and present them to people as a way of exploring the very rich, massive history of this music. And so it was a labor of love for me to do this.
For a new album with Walter Trout songs?
I'm almost half done an album of original songs. I have 6 done now, and I'm working on it slowly. When I'm home with the band, I'll call them up and say, hey, let's go record another song. And I've been recording at Robbie Krieger's private studio. He's the guitarist from The Doors. And he's become a great friend of mine, and he has a beautiful private studio with great gear and old amplifiers and every kind of keyboard you could think of. And it's just the greatest place to record, and it's kind of become my second home. So if I'm home for a week or two, I'll call the band and say, let's go to Robbie's, I have a new song. We go in and record it, but there's no deadline on it, but we are working on an album of all original, brand new songs, yes. We're halfway done.
And what about having your sons in the studio? John already recorded with you.
Yeah.
What about the younger ones?
That's a good idea. That's a great idea. I hadn't thought of it, but my wife and I discussed that someday it might be fun to do a tour of just the Trout family, because all my boys are great musicians. I have 3 sons, and they're all incredibly talented. And maybe do a tour sometime, the Trout family. We're kind of like the Von Trapp family of the blues, you know.
Okay, Walter, thank you very much for taking your time for me.
Well, thanks. It's great to see you again, Philip.
Turn off your neon lights. Got nothing left to say. Put it left behind. That can make it